of the bank holiday weekend, I'm joined by Paul Johnson, Chief Executive of Multi-Commodity Project Group, POW Resources. Hello again, Paul. How are you?
Hello, Alan. I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm very good indeed, thanks. Very good indeed. So here we are, end of August, and the markets have been very tricky for junior resource stocks. What's your take on this?
Yeah, I've been in the space for properly focused on the space for about 12 years, and I've seen quite a few of these up and down phases. They never change. They always frustrate. They always make you feel nervous and worried, even if you've been doing this for many, many years. And I've generally found that if I can hold through these periods as a resource investor in lots of different companies, that I usually come out in a strong position, you know, a relatively short while later. It's been a tough pullback for about 7 or 8 months in our space, and I think we might be warming up into a more positive phase, which would be great for us all.
Great. Okay. We're going to focus on your shareholding today, Paul, amongst other things. Now, between you, your family members, and your company, Value Generation, you have 74.5 million shares in POW Metal, which is a big chunk of the company. Can you expand on this?
Yeah, sure. So as a director of POW Resources, I have to declare what's called my beneficial holding. Now, that includes my personal holding in my own name. It includes, in my case, Michelle Johnson's holding, my wife. It includes anything that's within my SIP account at the moment. And it also includes anything that's held by Value Generation Ltd, which is a family company that's owned outright by Michelle and I. So that position, when you take all those different parts, is 74.5 million shares. Any change in that position, I have to declare. So whether I buy or sell, I would have to make a declaration to the market of those purchases or those sales. Now, I haven't actually sold a POW Resources share ever, I don't think. So it's only been buys. So I think shareholders with directors holding stock in close situations as I have, can be quite assured that the directors are holding on to that stock, because if they weren't, they'd have to declare it to the market.
Okay, well, Paul, I know firsthand how expensive families are. So you must have plans to sell some shares from time to time?
Well, I suppose it's a choice, isn't it, really? Because I can either sell family members or sell other things, including shares. I have a portfolio of interest. Now, it doesn't just focus on POW. POW is the largest holding that I have across the portfolio, but there are other things as well. I have absolutely no intention of selling POW shares, and certainly not at the moment where we are, at this, what I consider to be a depressed level. We saw the share price rise up to 3.45 pence in January, along with many other shares. I won't pull the market card very often, but it is a fair comment at the moment. Along with many other shares, we've seen a decline in our share price over the last 7 months. We have not stopped, however, and unlike many other companies, we are really driving our business forward even through this down phase. So yeah, I look at my stock holdings in POW. I'm very happy to have them. I'm privileged to be able to hold such a large position, the largest notifiable shareholder in the business. And I've got no intention, I don't think about selling any of the stock at this point in time, to be quite frank.
That's good to know. And as you say, there has been a malaise across the junior resource sector for some time now. So that's, yeah, you're quite right in that. Moving forward there, Paul, you've got a series of spin-offs and IPOs lined up. How is that going to work for shareholders?
Yeah, this is something I've covered a few times before, and I think it needs to be covered a few times again, because we are an exploration company. Our absolute focus, our main driving force within the business, is to make large-scale metal discoveries. And we're operating in multiple jurisdictions with very, very significant projects that have district-scale potential. So how do we do that? Well, the first thing we do is that we design exploration and development programs for those projects. Those programs, when we implement them, have to be funded. To fund those programs, you need money, ultimately cash, to pay the bills for exploration, drilling, and many other things as well. Now, the more underlying working capital we have as a business, working capital being cash and liquid investments that we can sell for cash if we wish, then the more we can do as an exploration business to find those major metal discoveries. So our first modus operandi of having spin-outs and disposals and crystallization events in our business is to build our working capital to make us stronger so we can explore more. Now, I'm an optimist, and I think our spin-out strategy, our disposal, our crystallization events, whatever you want to call these things, will be very successful. And I hope that's the case. And if it is, then we will end up, by my own projections, with a level of working capital that will be in excess of what we need to run our business and to aggressively explore. And when that happens, we are putting in place the measures needed so that we can look at distributing some of our interests, either cash through dividends, cash through share buybacks, which is another form of tax-free dividend effectively for the shareholders, and also through distribution of assets, including shares held in other companies. But that's secondary to the fundamental initial step, which is to make sure that we are self-sufficient financially, can fund aggressive exploration and can go after the major discoveries. Because if you look in our business, Alan, it's when you find big metal deposits where you get the dramatic lift in value. Back in 2016, when I restructured, refinanced Greatland Gold, it was a £1 million market cap company. Well, on the back of the Havieron discovery and other things on the way, it built to a £1 billion market cap in January. It's discoveries we need to focus on as a business, and funding them is a priority. And we're going to do it as best as possible through creating a self-sufficient, strong financial business.
Okay, so Paul, with that backdrop, will you or Value Generation be participating in those IPOs as shareholders?
Oh, that's a good question. So are we going to back our own propositions? Well, my own propositions. Well, yes, the answer is I would like to. Nothing is definitive until, it's announced to the market, of course, because some of these things are sensitive. But I think it's a good thing, as I've done with buying Power Metal shares, if I'm able to go and put some of personal money, however that's done through my personal name or through Value Generation, the business which invests in resource opportunities. Yes, I would like to get behind some of these opportunities and show that they are value opportunities by putting my own money in. Are we using these? I've noticed recently on certain discussion sites that people are saying, well, all these personal service companies, are they used to build up wealth in all these spin outs through some surreptitious manner? Absolutely not. My focus is Power Metal Resources, building the value of that company and making that company's interests worth considerably more, 3, 6, 12 months down the line, maybe 2-3 years down the line. And to do that, all my efforts and energies have to go into protecting the Power Metal shareholders, of which I'm the largest one. If I can help by putting in some of my own money into the spin-outs to show that they are valuable and build confidence in them, then yes, that's what I will do. But there'll be no surreptitious schemes to have blocks of value going, here, there, and everywhere to side companies to make people close to these spin-outs vast amounts of money. It will all be open in the public domain, and it will all be focused on performance incentivization for the boards of the new companies, which for the most part I won't be on, to actually deliver for their shareholders and ultimately for Power Metal. Okay,
so Paul, you've already said that the IPOs will put Power Metal in a cash position where it can more than cover it'll more than cover the operating costs of the company. What else do you think these IPOs will do for Power Metal going forward?
Okay, well, we are, as a business, we are particularly well connected around the world. You can see that from the deals that we've done in North America, Africa, and Australia. My view is that we build this company into a very large organization over the coming years. One of the best known, if not the best known in our space in London over the coming years. And the IPOs and the creation of value in the manner that we're talking about is one way to do that. But I have to keep coming back, Alan, to the central principle of our business being in operation to make major metal discoveries, and the IPOs and other crystallization events will help us to achieve that by making us financially strong. Ultimately, I think that will deliver a business that's of a significant market cap, and I trust a significantly higher share price than we are today, because we are in a bit of a lull. So I don't think that's too difficult to target. But all the business elements, discoveries, crystallization, strong capital management, are all the principles of a large organization, which is what we want to be.
Good. Well, Paul, on the basis of growing the company and developing the business, can you bring us briefly up to date on the projects you have in North America, Australia, and Africa? So if we start with North America.
Yeah, sure. So this is all in the public domain. There's been various announcements made, but just in summation, the Alamo Gold Project in Arizona and the Goldconda Gold and Base Metal Project in Nevada, they are waiting for permits so that we can move ahead with exploration. We are working, as people will have seen, on the Silver Peak project in British Columbia, Canada. We just finished drilling high-grade silver vein systems, and we're looking forward to receiving assay results. It looks positive at the moment. We've said this, that we have heavily oxidized core, which is a great thing. It's what we found back in summer last year, where we got super bonanza grade silver, and we're hoping for that to come through the assays this time as well. Well, we'll find out soon. We recently took on the Hemlo-Schreiber projects in the Ontario area of Canada, and we're looking to get on with exploration on the ground there. There'll be further news to come there. And then up at the Ophir North Lithium project, we're again planning for exploration there, and we'll provide another update to the market shortly. That Ophir lithium has drawn in dramatic amounts of attention, it has to be said, from investors, from other companies, and all sorts of organizations. It's a real bonus project for us in North America. So skipping over, I'm doing this from memory, so you have to forgive me if I make a few fluffs. In Australia, we have the Victoria Goldfields project, which is a joint venture with Red Rock. It's going into its own listing, as we've talked about, in London. Very excited about that. And that process is happening. That excitement really means we're having to do lots and lots of meetings, talking with advisors and doing all sorts of detailed technical and administrative stuff, Alan. I can tell you, if you think this business is about speedboats and race cars and parties and all the rest, the whole my life, it's not. It's about meeting after meeting at the moment. But there's lots of exploration in Victoria on the ground. We've got drill targets. Everything's really building. It's looking really, really good as a package. So we're looking forward to that IPO alongside the continuing exploration. In FDR, First Development Resources, up in the Paterson in the East Pilbara. People may have forgotten about that one now, but it's coming. Don't worry. And we're looking to IPO that vehicle. We're also looking to go and drill some super exciting magnetic bullseye targets, looking for gold copper deposits. And we're building towards that now with lots of preparatory work. We will update the market as we go on this so they can see the developing story. So that then brings us to Africa. And in Africa, we have the DRC Kasinka project and the Haneti Tanzania project. DRC is copper cobalt targets. Haneti is nickel PGMs. And we're trying to push as best we can to get those drill programs done. There we've got, that's the next step really on both of those different projects, is to get the drills going. In Botswana, we've got this really strong and growing portfolio. Molopo Farms, we drilled and found significant nickel in the first 3-hole drill program, which was fabulous. And maybe even a little bit of a miracle, to be honest. These deep drill programs very rarely tend to find what you're looking for in the first few holes, but we certainly did. We got nickel sulfides. We need to follow up with the corporate structuring of that vehicle. Now we've earned into our direct project percentage, and also with next step exploration for really going after vectoring in on the main nickel targets now. And then in the Tati project, which is up near Francistown, new project, we've exercised an option to go for 100% of that project. It's gold nickel targets. The results that's coming through the exploration process are superb. Nothing else to say. We just need to get on with it. So we're doing some geophysics and we're looking to drill those projects next month. Very, very exciting for us, Tati. And then we go to the Kanye joint venture with Kavango Resources, where we have the Ditau project, rare earth drilling coming to a project near you in the not too distant future. But the priority of the Kanye JV is the Kalahari copper belt, where we have a focus initially on the South Ghanzi project. It's about 1,400 square kilometers. We've done lots of preparatory work, and recently we've done soil sampling, and we've got fantastic anomalies, copper and zinc anomalies. We have vectored in on the targets. We're developing the final stage drill targets now. We're just waiting for the environmental management plan approval to come through, which we're very optimistic will not be too long, and then we can crack on with drilling at those projects. I've had some success previously with the T3 discovery at Metal Tiger. CEO of Metal Tiger. I know what these discoveries can do. We have a fantastic partnership with Kavango on the project, and we're looking forward to getting on with this drilling. It's one of the best shots I think I've seen. The data is fantastic, and let's see if we can go and make a grand district scale discovery there.
So much for investors to look forward to in the latter half of 2021, Paul.
It's a bit confusing, isn't it? Yeah. When you look at it in the round, it's very difficult. Well, this is the major metal environments around the world, the jurisdictional environments, the geographic, geological environments we're focused on: North America, Australia, and Africa. We are picking, generally speaking, if we can, we're focused mainly on district scale opportunities. We're citing our projects not where everyone else generally is looking. We're not going for, XYZ found a mine, therefore we're going to peg the closest piece of ground and ramp our share price. What we're doing is we're saying, in these areas, are there any parts of that particular region that we think have immense prospectivity but haven't been underexplored? So the Kanye JV is a perfect example. We've gone southwest of the T3 original discovery area towards the Namibian border because we think that's significantly underexplored, and we've taken very significant amounts of footprint in that area to explore. Same thing in the Victoria Goldfields project, where we didn't go around Fosterville mine where everyone was pegging ground, very expensive and difficult. Yep. We went for Ballarat, where there was less pegging happening, and now of course it's been super pegged out because it is clearly an exciting area. But it wasn't pegged out before. Through the joint venture, we were able to secure 2,300 and so on square kilometers of footprint. Sure. So we're being clever in what we do. It is a complex business model. As we start to do more exploration, the big projects will start to emerge, and people will start to focus a little bit more on the obvious areas of real discovery potential. In fact, of course, in the next few months, with half a dozen drill programs, we've got a good shot at making a number of discoveries. It's the exciting time for us, Alan. I know it's a bit of a final kind of week of August is always desperately bad in the markets, but we're going into September. We're optimistic, and we've got the business model to make it work.
Well, 2021 so far has been moderately exciting. Some has been quiet, but I think it's going to be a really strong end to the year. Very much looking forward to hearing more from you, Paul. Just remains for me to say, Paul Johnson, Chief Executive of Power Metal Resources, thank you for joining us today, and have a great bank holiday weekend.
Thank you very much, Alan. Same to you.